Hi, and welcome to season 2 of Talking About. And because of the guest we're having as our opening guest for this wonderful Talking About series, Faridah has insisted that she join me in being part of the questioning panel,
That's
so to
not
speak.
the reason.
That's the reason.
The reason is I know this person
Yeah.
even before you knew the person.
That's what I said.
Oh, you did?
Yes.
Oh.
Anyway, I know she's terrible, isn't she? You can't
sell her
win.
you can sell her the Penang Bridge now. I'm
Yeah,
telling you.
yeah. So our guest, our first up guest for season 2 of Talking About is none other than Michael Veerapen.
Applaud,
Michael,
Thank you.
welcome,
Thank you.
welcome, and thank you so very much.
I'm
for
so
joining us.
honored. I'm so
You're
honored.
honored.
Yes.
Shakespearean
Yes.
honored. Right. Okay,
Wow.
Michael, let me start with this. Whenever we hear the name Michael Veerapen, it's always kind of associated with Malaysian jazz icon. How
Right.
do you feel about that?
You know, the bigger the fuss you make about it, the more it stays in there. So I believe in the just say nothing and that too shall pass. Make no fuss, just keep quiet. "Oh, okay, thank you very much, and it stays exactly that. What more irksome to me is they call me the godfather of jazz.
Godfather of jazz.
Yes, in Malaysia, and I was thinking,
And that
where
irks you?
and where on earth did you get these names from?
From American television.
Yes,
Yes.
and I tell them, I say, if there was ever a godfather, then it has to be Alfonso Soliano. That's
yes,
the
yes,
godfather.
yeah,
I mean, that's the one we're all terrified of, right?
Yeah.
So they're calling me godfather. Oh my goodness
But
me.
Michael, to be fair, we cannot talk about Malaysian music, particularly jazz,
Yeah.
without mentioning Michael Veerapen.
Yeah.
So I mean, it goes without saying, right?
I totally agree.
I'm proud of it. I am proud of this achievement or being recognized in this particular manner. But I take a line from Raul Julia
Yes.
in Gumball Rally.
Mm.
He jumps into the Ferrari,
Yes.
and the first rule of Italian driving, and he snaps off the rear view mirror. He snaps it off, and throws it away. The first rule of Italian driving is what's behind is not important. So, whatever. But I'm excited about the things ahead, right?
Oh, he's actually an actor.
He is. He's a performer. He's a wonderful performer. I mean, the thing about Michael Veerapen and music and Malaysian music, it's almost like almost like ham and eggs, fish and chips,
Yeah.
toast and jam. They all go together.
Nasi lemak and sambal.
Oh yeah, sambal and nasi lemak. But some people don't like sambal with their nasi lemak.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, this is the truth that unfortunately you have to live with.
I'm okay with that.
You're okay with it.
I'm okay with that.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
Yeah, I do try to use it to my advantage in that to advance my agenda.
Yes.
As you know, thank you that we've been so successful in Malaysian Jazz Piano Festival
Yeah, we'll talk
because of you.
We will get to that
Yeah.
eventually. Yeah, that's one of the topics of conversation
Okay.
that we're going to get on. But can we take a trip down memory lane?
Okay.
Can we talk about the 70s and the bands that you were involved in? Because I'm sure there are
Yes.
many young people would not know this about you. People of our vintage would.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even though we're a little bit older than you.
There are many young people who do not know the name
Yes.
Michael Veerapen.
There are many young people who.
Mike.
Right.
Oh,
This is true. I mean, bands like Windjammer,
Yes.
the Delta
Delta Band,
right?
Vintage.
Vintage, which was like an iconic band, right?
At that
jazz,
time, yes.
Jazz fusion band,
Yes.
was it? Yeah.
Yeah.
How did you get involved in your first band, for instance, Windjammer? Was it Windjammer the first band?
Actually, my first band was a band called Across Town in
Across-
Sudirman. in
Across-
Sudirman
Oh.
in 1972 as I was waiting for
Across town.
waiting for my Form 5 results.
Yeah.
So those days after you take your Form 5, the gap was a bit long before you get into Form 6.
Right.
So I joined this rock band, and it was called Across Town. And
this was
so
in 1972.
72. So next year will be my
Oh,
50th
wow.
year, 50th year
Wow.
of being in
Wow.
music.
Wow.
So I started there,
I see.
and once the bug bites,
Yeah, of
that's
course.
it.
And then Windjammer came along, right?
Oh, many
Many years later, was it?
Then after that, after Form 6, I moved up to KL.
Yes.
Tooled around trying to do accountancy. I went to Stanford College. I went to TAR College doing accountancy. And then, I started a rock band with my friends Rick and a few others. We jammed here and there. And that's when I was introduced to Louis Progressum.
Yes.
And then we had a little project band called Vintage, which
That
is
was-
a
yeah.
jazz band,
Yes. Yes.
fusion jazz.
Yes.
Mahavishnu orchestra and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And I joined this organ company in 1977, Victor Music, and that's when I really got serious. I joined Delta Band. We had Vintage. Vintage was a project band.
Yes.
Louis was with Revolvers, and a
Right.
whole bunch of us, me, David Lim, and David Yee, were with Delta Band, doing the top 40 stuff. But all through that time, I've been playing in bands and been active, and that was the great band era, right?
Yes.
So-
Was the Revolvers around that time?
Yes, the Revolvers were around for a long time. There were the Strollers, there were the Cellar Hi-Fi, there was Carefree, there was Discovery. There were so many bands, at the time, and it was
Wow.
just wonderful.
Yeah.
And we used
And
to
the
go,
wonderful names.
yes, from the Nan
Yeah.
Kumars to the Terry Teddiers. I lived in the time when giants roamed the earth.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Wow.
we got to see them, and we got to learn from them so much.
Yes.
The Falcons. Those guys.
Falcons, yes,
yes, yes.
Fabulous Falcons, Flybaits,
Mm.
and then there were some great
Do
bands
you
that came.
remember all these
yeah.
bands?
I remember the bands and the people, some of the people
Yes.
who are still here today,
Yes,
working,
that's
doing
right.
very well.
And that was
Wonderful.
that melting pot time and that period where we played music, and we played music with all our heart and by ear. Remember, by ear. Oh, use your ear, and that's the only way we could play music. We picked it up by ear, and then
Because at that
this
stage you hadn't studied music, right?
not the contemporary music,
Yes.
but I had my classical
Yes,
already.
yes.
So I had my ABR some stuff together, so I could read music, but no point, because
Maybe he's
everybody
a late
else
bloomer.
couldn't.
No, he's not that late a bloomer. No, not at all, not at all.
Still blooming,
Yeah.
still blooming.
Yeah, we're all still blooming.
Yeah, so-
Thank God is all I can say.
The question is blooming
I
what,
like
right?
that. I like that.
In 1978,
Yep.
can we talk about the Malaysia's first jazz rock concert?
Yes.
Which you were one of the prime movers.
It
right?
was moved by Louis Progressum and me.
Yes.
So, as it is with this kind of music, there was no venue to play it. There were no jazz clubs at that time. So we would love to play this fusion stuff, the Chick Coreas, the Herbie Hancock, that kind of stuff. And we made our own music as well. So, but where do we play it? Oh, let's go and make a concert. We made a concert just to play our stuff, right? But then they said, oh, you know what? These guys, Discovery, Carefree, Delta, Revolvers, they love this stuff too. So I said, hey, why don't we get together? Just like the MJPF thing, right?
Yeah.
Why don't we get together? We organize a concert, and then we play only the stuff that you like. You like the Deodato stuff, right? We've always loved to play Deodato and that kind of thing. Carefree, like to do the Dave Grusin, Joe Sample stuff. But that stuff we couldn't play in our regular night gigs. It's all
Right.
disco stuff. But this stuff we like to play. So we initiated this, and the company I was working for, Victor Music at the time, said, oh, great, we will sponsor this so we can pass out enrollment forms for organ courses, of which, by the way, you remember, you're supposed to be a teacher here anyway. Okay, great, wonderful.
So where was the concert held?
Experimental Theatre University.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
And
That was the old one or the one that's
The old one.
the
where we
old
did
one.
Norman Ahmed.
Yes.
Yes.
In
And it
in
was
the
the square thing in the
Yeah,
middle
yeah,
there. So,
yeah,
we did it there, and it was
Yes,
a
yes,
outrageous success.
Wow,
Where
wow,
we did
wow,
with
wow, wow.
Anandara.
And that actually, if I'm not mistaken, if my history serves me correctly, actually led the way for an appreciation of jazz.
That's right.
Yeah.
Right?
I think it did two things. It entertained a whole bunch of people who love that kind of music, for which they couldn't get it live anywhere in the world.
Right.
And where you going to get Herbie Hancock come to Malaysia at the time, right? Or Mahavishnu Orchestra. So we had an audience who was hungry for this. And what it did was, we realized as musicians, hey, guess what? This music has an audience,
Right.
and we can do this kind of stuff. But from there, you can trace back the Sheila Majids, because Discovery Band, for example, has got people, great musicians like Fauzi Mazuki, Go Boon Ho. These guys went on to become all the producers of for EMI and all the kind of thing. Later, they were asked to come and produce records, and for
Wow.
which there was this fusion blood
Ah,
inside, and hence the appreciation and the ground was already built by us guys,
Yes.
for which later on came the Sheila Majid, because there was a market.
Yes.
There was audience already for this kind of groove stuff, R&B
So you were
stuff.
groundbreakers, lah.
Yes.
I think so, lah.
No, definitely. Not you think so. Definitely. You know, you're far too modest at times, huh? And I think that's why people refer to you as kind of cool, because you're a bit
Really?
laid back. Yeah,
I like that,
You're a
I
bit
like
laid
that.
back, which is a great thing
I
to
like
have
it.
as a reputation.
That's cool.
Do you want to hear the uncool part of Michael Veerapen?
Oh, do you have? Do you have an
Faridah.
uncool
Not
part?
for this.
Oh,
Not
okay,
for
not
that.
for a different.
Now you're going to be
Okay,
really
then-
worried.
Then, which I'd like to know why, because you were doing so much in music, then you decided to go and study abroad at Berklee.
I didn't decide.
You didn't decide.
My dad decided
Your
for me.
dad, well, what a clever man your dad was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I was supposed to be doing accountancy, right?
Yes, yes.
So he comes to me and says, it appears that you're not going to,
Do accountancy.
kind of like my master's program, right? It appears that you're not.
Ah,
I said, well, to tell you the truth, okay, don't worry. In that case, you want to be a professional musician, you're going to get qualified. And here are the forms, fill them up. I said, what forms are this? This is for a college in America, Berklee College.
yeah. Like,
You got it?
Like
I've made an
just
appointment.
a college.
Yeah, I've made an appointment for you in the American High Com. You're going there. You go and get your visa, student visa, and all. You're going to study in America. I said, oh, wait, hang on. Yeah, I got plans of my own, my band, Windjammer with Francisca and all that. We had gigs about to be lined up on the circuit in Asia,
Wow.
Korea, Japan, and that
So
kind
you
of
had
stuff.
to give that up?
Well, as God would have it,
Yes.
my band disintegrated, as all great bands must.
Yeah, they do, don't they?
Yeah.
They do, for some
So just
obscure reason.
died. My
Yeah.
band died.
Wow.
Yeah.
internal
squabbles, that kind of thing, and I was left without a band. And this
But you
came.
had this.
My dad insisted.
Mm.
He had spoken to my cousin in Syracuse. Said, "What's the best music college in America?" He said, "Berklee College."
Berklee.
Hey,
And you,
send me the
not only
forms.
is it the best college in America,
Yeah.
but you graduated Summa Cum Laude,
Yes.
didn't you, in 1982?
It's only later that I figured out what that meant.
What's that?
I didn't know what
Oh,
Summa
you didn't know what Summa
I
Cum
didn't
Laude
know
meant?
Summa Cum Laude. What does it mean?
What
you
does
know?
that mean? What is it? What is this Latin
what is-
rubbish?
Yeah, that's it. What is this? What is this? I had friends calling me from the US. Hey, Michael, congratulations,
Summa
you
cum
graduated
laude.
Summa Cum Laude. How you know your name was mentioned at the graduation? And I said, what graduation?
Are you serious?
On the day of my last lecture, the last thing, the last examination, my
no.
flight was in the night.
You got on a flight and came back.
Out.
Oh my
What?
goodness.
You mean you couldn't wait to get back, or?
Faridah knows. At the time, my ex-wife had to wait all these years. You're supposed to, so I was like, I'm on the timeline, man. I'm out of here. I
You
didn't.
mean you were already married then?
No.
Oh,
No.
So
Well,
it was
he
deferred.
waited for
you
him.
waited.
It's deferred.
But
So
Michael, did you enjoy your time in Berklee?
honestly, I loved it so much, Joe, because we were playing this fusion stuff, and he hadn't a clue how it went.
Right.
It was just by ear, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I didn't know anything. I took one lesson from Remy Soliano, and he played me this exquisite thing, and ding, 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 and I said, "Wow, this is wonderful. Why is it? Why does it work like that?" But mind you, in Form 6, I did science,
Yeah.
physics, chemistry, biology. I'm a science student, so a science major. So I need to know, right? Analysis. Why does it work like that? And I finally realized that the great words of wisdom in jazz, which I still hold to today,
Yes.
despite knowing a lot of stuff, it's called
Has it?
"It's like that."
Has your
Why does it work? Because it's like that.
has your time at Berklee has that affected you in any way professionally?
Well, in a way that a man who couldn't see suddenly discovered eyes.
Okay. So
Suddenly I
it was,
could see.
it was
Suddenly
extremely beneficial.
I was sitting in class in Berkeley and said, "Oh my goodness me, I cannot believe they teach this stuff. This is the stuff that, oh, so that was what Remy was showing me."
Right.
So it is like that.
Yeah.
But there's a method to the madness.
Yes.
And once you know all the secrets, it's like a roadmap. Suddenly I got Google Maps. I know where I'm going and how to get to where. Otherwise, can you imagine the Malaysian style? You know, you go to that, when you see that shell, it's not there. Then you turn left from there. Oh, you see that one? It's not that. So we were bumping around in the dark and accidentally stumbling upon, this sounded right, but not quite sure. But having coming back, then you know your stuff. You know it all. You know how it works.
So it was all your far-sighted father.
That's right. I owe it to my dad. It really was him. If
So-
he didn't have that foresight,
Performing arts education, you vouch for, right?
110%.
Yeah. It's obvious. It's
Oh wait, I
obvious.
want to ask you a question.
Yeah.
When you landed back from Berkeley, how many days later did you get married?
Okay, that's a good question. Actually, I came back in late May, July.
Oh, that's nice.
I thought that was going to be a trick question. That wasn't.
No, actually, she remembered. She's just testing whether I remembered.
Okay, so Michael, you have so many different musical strings to your bow, so to
Right.
speak. Number one, you're what I think, and many others like me think, that probably the most admired and respected jazz pianist in the country. That's one of the strings that you have to your bow. You also have several other strings to your bow, like you're a composer. You for many years had a music production house.
Yes.
Then you also had a wonderful recording studio, which I spent hours in.
I know.
Yeah, and was responsible. Your recording studio was responsible for some of the most well thought of, some of the most highly regarded commercial music for jingles and production in the advertising industry of the country.
Yeah.
So and also you're a music teacher. I mean, you do so many things in the line of music.
But you also taught music and sound engineers.
Yes. A lot of people, like for instance, our
Mike. Mike Thomas.
our technical manager here at KLPAC is a protege of yours.
Yeah.
He worked with you for God knows
Yeah.
how many years.
Many years, 13 years, I think. Yeah.
Right. And he used to record me when I went,
Yes.
Yeah.
and so you've done a lot.
Miles and miles.
Well, I've been around for a while.
Yeah, we all have. We
I
all
know.
have, Michael.
I mean, 50 years is a lot of time. You can get a lot done in 50 years.
But which was the most?
But hang on. Sorry. And I believe one of the most. I mean, because we spent many a night at All That Jazz.
Oh,
Which
yes.
was
That's another story, right?
I mean, that in itself was like considered
History.
throughout the region was considered as probably one of the most significant
Yeah.
jazz clubs in the region. You've done it. done it all, and you're continuing to do it. So tell me about you being a jazz pianist. Tell me about you being a composer.
I love music. What can I say?
That says it all, right?
Yeah, I love music. I
Yeah.
mean, it just comes out of me all the time. You know, my dad, when we were young, I listened to, I mean, of course, church music. Then, you know, he had this whole Reader's Digest collection of music of all kinds of genres.
Yeah.
And we used to listen to music on the records.
Right.
And I listened to Mantovani. We did this. I was surrounded by music all the time. My dad loved music.
You know, when I was doing a lot of commercial production, as you know, I used to shoot and direct commercials, and I'd be sitting in the agency and we'd be going, yeah, and we'd be going through sort of, okay, post production will be done here, blah, blah. But when it came to composer and who's going to be doing the thing, I couldn't even get a word in. It was always Michael Veerapen. Oh, okay, fine, not a problem.
I paid
But
them.
that's the reputation that you garnered.
I'm so grateful for that.
Yeah.
You know, you never start out, you know, planning to do anything that wasn't there.
Yes.
You know, Joe,
Yeah,
people
yeah,
like
yeah,
you, Faridah, and all that. What you see now in actor studios, it wasn't there. It needed you to come.
Yeah.
And then it happens. And then now everybody says, oh, actor studio, yeah, it's for granted. It's always been there. But we come from an era where there was nothing there, which is great because then it's,
Sure.
you know, the world's your oyster, right?
Yeah.
You can do anything you like. You can do anything you want to do.
Right.
And just go ahead and do it.
Yes.
And that's the benefit of being pioneers. So pioneers pioneer.
Yeah. This is true.
And that's what we did.
Sometimes with much sadness and much sorrow and much grief.
Knees, the
Yes,
knees.
yes.
The knees go.
But you're right. Pioneers pioneer lah.
That's right. So I see. I didn't set out to be a pioneer, but necessity is the mother of invention.
Yes.
So we didn't have a jazz club. Let's have a jazz club. We didn't have this. Let's do it that. We didn't do that. Let's make
know
one.
Did you know that all that jazz would become the iconic thing that it became? You didn't know, right?
No, who knows these things?
Yeah, you just
You
wanted
know,
to start a jazz club.
I just wanted to play.
Yeah. Oh, so you did it for yourself.
Exactly.
Right.
Well, who's going to make a jazz club for you?
Yeah.
You go make up one. That's right. You
yeah.
do something for yourself to go and do it, and you are so fortunate because other people enjoyed it too.
Yes.
It's just like the jazz rock concert, right?
Yeah.
Where are we going to play? Let's make a show.
Right. Exactly.
Just like what you guys do.
Yeah.
You know?
True.
Oh, we want to do this play. Oh, you got to do. Oh, let's make a show. And this is my whole life is let's make a show.
Actually, quite a number of musicians do that, right? They set
Yes.
up a club or a company or a studio
Just
or
to make a
whatever,
show.
so they can play.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Because if you're not the first, if you're not doing it for you, then who are you doing it for?
True.
Yeah.
Actually, you also, I mean, I haven't finished yet, sort of listing all of your accomplishments. You've also been musical director for some of Malaysia's top performers. Yeah. Someone like Sudirman, for instance. I mean, how do you...
Genius guy, right?
Genius guy and genius musical director. I mean, the combination of the two of you.
So he
And then
affirmed.
1,000 Million Smiles came along.
So people like him affirm that that you're not the only crazy person on earth.
Yes, there are other crazy people.
There are other crazy people, some crazier even.
Yes.
You know, I'm looking at two of them.
And the Royal Albert Hall came along.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because it was a fun thing to do. And it was a great thing. As Surya approached me and said, "Okay, Karen," and I sat down and said, you know, you want to create an advantage. Say, let's write a song.
Yeah.
What shall that song be? You know, and in those days, remember we had that, you know, Mr. Brown, mind your language.
Yes.
There's the Sikh guy who said, you know, 1,000 apologies. That kind of thing.
Oh, yes.
A million about something like that. So I said, oh yeah, you know, 1,000 million smiles. And poor came out. He loved it. I loved it. I got Paul, you know, Paul Punadori said, hey Paul, this is the story. So he's an emissary coming from the east.
Right.
You know, to bring greetings of hospitality to the West in Royal Albert Hall. And he's coming and he's bringing you the best of our Asian hospitality, our smiles.
Yeah.
You see, I was writing advertising copy even then,
As well.
right?
Also,
It's just
apart
imagination,
from,
right?
yeah, of course. Of
Just
course.
use your imagination.
Apart from that, you've also been very heavily involved in recent years with several highly successful musicals, which you've composed and music directed, like Supermock, for
Yes.
instance. I loved Supermock. I loved it. Also, Lutz Kampong Boy,
That's right.
which I loved. I mean, did you have fun doing those?
Oh yes,
Yeah.
that was a great team. You know, working with Hans,
Yeah.
is just magic.
Yeah.
You know, and then you get Harris,
Yes,
okay,
yes,
and
yes.
then there's never a dull moment.
Yeah. Never.
It's just a little bit teensy bit scary with Hans and Harith, because in a tech run,
Yes.
you
yes.
know, tech run is the last
Yeah.
stage, right? The plane's about to take off, right?
Mm.
They get this crazy idea and they walk over to me. When I hear the silence in tech run, I get a bit nervous because, you know, Mike, we were thinking,
Ah.
we need a song.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
I said, this is tech run.
Yes.
I said, don't worry, I got one in the boot. Let me run to the car. It's in the car. It's in the boot. So it became a tagline for working with Hans. Don't worry, Mike. It's in the boot.
It's in the boot.
Wonderful.
Now, then came, which incidentally for Kampong Boy, you won the Beau Cameronian
Yes.
Award, right?
That's
For Best Composition, is that right? Or
I'm not quite sure whether it was music director
composer
or best
music,
composer.
whatever.
So
One of those
one
awards.
of those,
right?
yeah.
One of those. But that's a wonderful thing. It's wonderful. Then something enormous happened for a Malaysian composer and musical person in 2017. Do you remember that far back?
Yeah, the pre-COVID days.
The Sea Games
Mm.
happened. The 2017 Sea Games happened.
Yeah.
And you were the music director, the composer, and the orchestrator of the opening ceremony.
Yeah.
And that was seen by millions across ASEAN live.
Yeah.
How did it feel?
Felt magical
Yeah.
in the sense that now all of a sudden, because you know and I know, Faridah, we haven't been able to establish this thing called the definitive Malaysian music.
Mm.
Everybody said, "Oh, we want to make Malaysian music," and then they throw some sitar inside there. They throw this. Oh, Malaysian music. It has never taken. So I had the idea that doesn't matter what we think in Malaysia is Malaysian music, but if I were to be somebody from abroad and I was looking at this and I was thinking, what would they think Malaysian music would be?
Yeah.
Like, say, for example, if I'm watching a documentary on, let's say, Vietnam, I have no clue what Vietnamese music is, but I would imagine, but I have a sense of what Vietnamese music would be. So I wrote it from the perspective of somebody outside looking in, you know.
How very clever of you.
Yeah.
And again, you're Michael Veerapen. You have to be clever, right?
I just had some ideas. Just had some ideas. They worked out well.
But it was very successful, wasn't
Yeah.
it? Yeah.
So I said, well, you know, Malaysia is a modern country. You know, we are really up there. You know, we have great infrastructure. We're just a really advanced, you know, country and all kinds of things. So if you listen to our music, it has to be big, orchestral. You think you're hearing John Williams.
Right.
But then, my goodness, what are these wonderful sounds and colors
Can I ask
emanating from inside
Can I
of
ask you a
here?
rather tricky question?
Yeah.
Did you have any interference from the
That's
government
exactly
at
what I
all?
wanted to ask.
Or were
Did
you
people
given?
dictate
Were
you?
you allowed to have a free
Free hand. Totally free hand.
How wonderful!
Yeah.
Well,
Totally free.
yeah, they trusted him. They
Whoa.
trusted
Oh, yeah.
you, right?
Boy,
Totally
never
free
heard
hand.
of.
Unheard of, right?
Yeah.
I think that was because it was really well managed by the company that I worked for, which is Memories,
Right.
and they managed it so well.
I'm
They
being given the word by our erstwhile cameraman. We have 5 minutes left.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Time flies.
Time flies, yeah.
Having fun.
But we're having so much fun that I would like to invite you back again some other time.
Would
all
love to
And
do this again.
We'll go into areas that we haven't been able to.
Yeah,
Naughty areas?
Well, maybe we'll see. We'll see.
50
we'll see,
years,
we'll see.
it's a long time.
But can I ask a question
Yes,
before
of
we
course.
finish?
Yeah.
Michael, I mean, in your quiet moment, do you think about which was the most precious, the most beloved, the most happy
Significant achievement. Is that
moment
right?
of your career?
Hasn't happened yet.
Oh, wow.
Remember? First rule of Italian driving.
Yeah.
What's
yeah.
behind
What's
is not
behind
important.
is behind.
I'm excited about the show we're going to do this weekend with you.
Yeah, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, no.
Thank
this
you
is,
for MJPS success.
and of course this
I'm going to borrow that answer.
this Malaysian
Hasn't
Jazz
happened yet.
Piano Festival, which you were one of the
Yeah.
prime movers or the prime mover.
It was my idea to begin this.
Your idea to
yeah.
begin with, and it just gets bigger and bigger every
But
year.
because, and I keep telling you, why are you so successful? Well, because Faridah and Joe have faith in me. They have faith in us.
Yes.
And I'm telling you, they invest in the future. If you want to have a future, and talk to them. If you have a talent, it's going to happen.
Yeah.
You will have the right support. It's because of your support. I'm telling you. Quite frankly, we couldn't have done this without
Yeah,
your
but
help.
you may have had our support, Michael, which we gave gladly because who you are, and we love you, and we've known you for so many years. But without you, it couldn't have been done.
Yeah.
You see,
But-
but yeah, it goes hand in hand. I understand.
We
I
work
understand.
together.
Yeah.
But let me just say, in kind of finishing off, do I have time, Koba? Yeah. That do you believe that your achievements have been a significant factor in bringing the music industry or making the music industry credible?
I think I might have played a part, but comes the moment, comes the man. I wouldn't put myself that high. There were so many people who I worked with, like people like Louis Pugasam.
Sure.
There was a whole bunch of people. I had certain things, certain attributes, but I'm certainly not the only one who has contributed to that. I'm very happy that it is, though.
But you also,
The
I mean,
moving force,
but
yeah.
you also won the Brand Laureate Icon
Yeah.
Award, right, for your contribution
Yeah.
to music over the years. So that must have had some weight in influencing people and influencing young people, which is a wonderful thing.
I think I'm very proud of that. I'm very proud that young people have a model
Yes.
to look at and to say, okay, you can be this and that. But I too have my own agenda,
Right.
and which is very simply this, Joe. I want to play.
You want to play.
I don't want to be alone.
And I
I
know,
got to get these young people to come and play with me.
Whenever Faridah and I watch you
Yeah.
at the piano,
Yeah.
Ah,
we sort of look at you and say, "Oh God, I'm sure this man was born at the
Yeah.
piano."
Because if I don't have these other young people coming up, then I got nobody to play with. You can't play football by yourself. No. So we got to do all this so that you get to play.
Yeah. Okay, we're gonna have to
wonderful.
wind this one up, Michael. But thank you so much.
Thank
for giving
you.
us
Thank you
your
so much for
time.
having
Thank
me.
you,
And,
Thank you.
and I mean that sincerely. We would like to have you back again.
Thank you.
Later
I'm
on,
glad
later
to do
on
this.
in the series.
Please see our scheduling manager.
Yes, I'll see our scheduling manager who's sitting over
Thank
there
you.
looking at us going, what the hell are you doing? So, ladies and
you.
gentlemen, I hope you have enjoyed looking and listening to the wonderful Michael Veerapen. We certainly have enjoyed bringing him to you, and we look forward to bringing more of Michael Veerapen to you
I'm on it. I'm
further
really
on
on
down
it.
the line. So, Michael, once again, thank you very much.
Thank you so much for having me.
Michael.
Really honored.